Oh, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Salandi, Mr. Ayers, Mr. Reed, and the staff that are present today, and the guests. Well, I don't know what to say, but first, I just thank you first for coming here today. I mean, it's a special night for me tonight because, it was about 10 years ago when I first enrolled in this school. It seemed like it was yesterday, but it was about 10 years ago, and I enrolled, along with my brother and my younger sister. We drove up to this school in our in the Holtz mobile car that my dad gave us. I was the one driving, and we came to Sci Tech. Like, you know what, let's go to this school. It's nearby. We checked the tuition, everything is cheap, like it's affordable. You know what? This is it. So when we came here and we enrolled in the class, and I was in the biology class with Mr. Salandi, in chemistry class with Dr. Davis, and I was also in English and math class. Dr. Davis is in the house. Thanks for coming. I realized how much of a passion, like I have always had passion for sciences. And, I've always loved sciences and healthcare practices, given that my father, he too is in the healthcare field. I have so many uncles too in healthcare fields who are like doctors, nurses, or pharmacists, dentists. So I knew for me, the roadway to success will always be medicine, But I just needed a place to go to achieve that goal. Sci Tech was the benchmark for that. When I came here to Sci Tech, like I said earlier, I met Mr. Salandi. He's a great mentor for me. There are so many teachers here, that I talked to, and that they were all very supportive. Like he asked me, like, what would you like to do? I said, I want to go to medical school. I've told so many people that I wanted to go to medical school. You know what it said to me? Me too. And I was like, okay, maybe it makes two of us then, But when I saw him, he told me, you know what you want to become is very important, and I see it in your face. I can read it through you, like you have the passion and the determination to do this thing, and you will become it. And that really, really encouraged me. When I was in biology class with my sister, she would, I have a very smart sister. I have to admit, sometimes, I have to admit that she's better than me in some classes, But still, that was a great way for me to encourage myself. Like, I don't want to be that dull brother, In biology, she was always doing better than I was. In chemistry, I was doing better. So I would tell him, remember, I'm better than you in chemistry, But it was a friendly, competition. And I'm glad, I have like a sister and a brother, that can compete with me in a loving way. Also at Sci Tech, I had great leadership experience. My path to medical school, I knew it wasn't going to be easy because there are so many people applying to medical schools. There are so many people that are becoming medical doctors. And out of everyone, I would say maybe 100 to 200 people that want to become doctors. In undergrad, maybe 4 or 5 of them will be. When I left here to UNCG, I was in a class of 200 and 250 people. In chemistry and biology, if you ask all of them what they wanted to do, it's either medicine or pharmacy. And I asked myself, oh my God, all these people are trying, am I going to become that doctor? But then, one thing I believe that my faith and my passion for this field, has brought me this far. And the encouragement that I've gotten from all my instructors, all my mentors, and my family has been a great source of inspiration for me. When I was here at Sci Tech, I joined the student government. I was actually staying outside this auditorium. I was right there when Marcelo came to me. He was then the student government president. He came to me, he said, Abel, have you ever thought of joining the student government? I said, no, that's not for me. I don't like to be in anything that has to do with politics. He said, but this is not politics. It's just about student activities. You just meet people and you do something for the school. I said, really, I'll think about it. I told my sister, she was like, yeah, why not? So I said, well, only if you're going to join with me. So she said, yeah. I asked my brother. My brother said, no, I don't want to have anything to do with that. Because, we just thought it's just playing politics and that's it. So when my sister and I joined, we really loved it. My brother would come with us sometimes, watch it. He would say, I don't want to join, but I want to watch, So we developed this relationship like with Eddie and Miss Daisy. They are wonderful people, and they were like our school parents, And from there, we also got like encouragement. They would Eddie always says, you're doing good, Abel. Abel, you're doing good. That's his words, you're doing good. And those words they were very encouraging to me. Sometimes when you meet a person and when you see them, all they talk about is the complaints of their life, they don't see the good things in their lives. And that's one thing I'm here to tell you tonight. We all are going through things. I am going through, my life is not set in stone, it's not perfect. We all are going through things. But if you blind your eyes to that bad things that are going on in your life, you will see the good vision, the good things that are going on, that what God is doing, What did I like about Forsyth Tech? Let me go back a little bit. What did I like about Forsyth Tech? Forsyth Tech, other than the great reputation that Forsyth Tech has, this is the school that President Bush came, President Obama came. Forsyth Tech, the close-knit system was what I really loved about this school. I had classes that, we have few students in each class. We're able to communicate with our professors. When I had problems in math, I quickly ran to the Learning Center. And Tracy and other Learning Center staff, they're doing a great job, excellent job there, and they were able to help me with math. And I was able to get a job there too, to help others at the Learning Center with chemistry and biology, So I love those things about Forsyth Tech, and those were the things that actually went on my resume to make me stand out, as a medical student candidate then, as a candidate for medical school. Those learning opportunities, the tutoring opportunities that I had, leadership experiences, all those things, those were things that set me apart from my peers. And also, you have great teachers here. That I have to tell you. You guys have great teachers here, and I'm very happy I went for Sci Tech. I remember my brother was taking a physics class, and he came home. He was always coming home complaining. My physics is rough, my physics is rough. I'm like, wait a minute. Then I saw his teacher one day. I'm like, his teacher saw me, he was like, you Joseph's brother? I said, yeah. Could you please tell him there is no difference between a 98 and a 96? They are both A. I heard that, I was very upset. I went home, I'm like, whoa, what is your grade in this class so far? He said, well, I think I have an A, but then, I might drop to a B. I said, you have an A, but you're complaining. I said, when my brother and when my sister and I are complaining that we're struggling in class, we're really struggling. We don't complain because we have A's. We are happy to have A's. But my brother is always complaining. And my older sister too. I'm glad she's not here tonight because I'll tell her all the time how much she complains. She graduated with a 4.0 GPA, but she cried almost every night. But how do you become a doctor? For me, I realized, there are some courses. Of course, we know the biologies, chemistry, physics, math, organic chemistries. We have to do that. There are some other classes too that they are recommended. But choosing where to do these courses, sometimes they matter. When you do a course here at Forsyth Tech versus doing it in a very large institution, there's a huge difference. Because I remember when I was in biology, I have a lot of colleagues that after the class, they will come out, they will complain, that guy is too tough. this guy is to this. Why do we have to know this? I want to become a doctor. Why does this have to do with medicine? Or why does this have to do with pharmacy? But guess what? Some of them will transfer together to UNCG. Not that they don't have great professors there, but the classes are bigger. They have much larger classes. So when you have like 50 students, in trouble, go to the learning center. But then the learning center is packed. They tell you, you have to book an appointment. So what do? But then when you have Sci Tech next door, you can just go to your teachers. It's only few students in the class. Ask them, and you go to learning center. They have like tutors always sitting there waiting to help people. Those were the things that I gained here at Forsyth Tech, and I always advise anyone, take any course you can take here at Forsyth Tech before you transfer. Because trust me, once you transfer, you will see the difference. You will. Also, I already talked about this. You see President Obama. I mean, it feels good for Obama to be here. I wish I was here when Obama came here, But then I'm glad I wasn't here too because I've already moved ahead, And I always tell people also there are many paths to become a doctor. I did biology. I'm happy I did biology. I studied biology. Biology is really beautiful. It's a beautiful science. And for students that always ask the question, why do I have to know this? I'll tell you the simple answer today. You have to have a wide variety. You have to have knowledge in almost everything to be a doctor. Like residencies, interviews, right now we're going through it now. And when you go for residency interview, they will tell you, not only do they ask you, why do you want to be a doctor? Why should we choose you over others? But they also ask questions like, if you were to become an apple, if you were to become a fruit, what kind of fruit would you be? They will ask you questions like, let's say you have to choose one, let's say you have to come into this world as a science. Which science would you be? And you would think, okay, wait a minute, wow, what does this have to do with medicine? The point is that medicine is just not about what we see on TV like on Dr. House every day. It's more like doctors have to have great personalities. You have to be able to deal with people, tolerate people. You have to have wide varieties of knowledge, I don't know much about American football and baseball when I came here, but I have been learning, because you see some patients, they come in, they tell you, oh, who won this last night? I'll be like, I only know about soccer. They'll be like, you want to be able to relate with your patient, and that's what medicine is about, And for me, why did I choose medicine? I chose medicine because I remember when I was young, I was just about 4 years old. My dad had a clinic in Nigeria, and I would go to the clinic with him, and on our way to the clinic, he'll buy like corns, we'll be eating corns, and he would tell me, you know what? He would ask me, what would you like to do? I tell him, I want to be a doctor. I want to be just like you. And he would tell me, you know what? Yeah, that's what you're going to be. You're going to become a doctor. And since that time, I knew this is the path for me. I saw the way my dad related with his patients. The way he encouraged them. Working in that little village, in that small village, they all knew him. They knew his name. Like, he knew them by name too. He would call them, oh, so, like, how are you doing? You doing well? How's your son? You're supposed to come last week for your appointment, you didn't come. They'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll come next week. It's like a family. And that's the passion of becoming a doctor. That's why I love to become a doctor then. That's why I am a doctor now. Because I want to relate with people. I want to relate with my patients. I want to be the kind of man my dad was to his patients. And also, to become a doctor, you have to show, showing that you really want to help people. It's not just by saying it. It's not just by thinking it. You have to, show it in your characters. My family, we started a not-for-profit organization a few years ago. We go to developing countries with nurses, doctors, and teachers, anyone, just to help people in the rural areas. People that are like in the remote areas where help don't go, like people that don't see help, like people that have never even seen doctors in like 20 years, So when I saw that old, like 74-year-old woman, like I saw that big wound on his legs, and I'm like, whoa, how long have you had it? She said, it's been there for about 12 years. It doesn't bother me. I almost cried. I said, you know what, you need to go to the doctors. He said, what do the doctors know? I said, well, but this wound is killing you. He said, no, I'm fine. So I dressed the wound. After dressing the wound with the rest of my colleagues that we went there together, we dressed the wound and we, bandaged it. The woman was very happy. You can see the joy in this woman's face. And that is what it takes to be a doctor. Like going out of your way to help people, even though you have your own difficulties too. That is what it takes to become a physician. And also, to build a strong doctor-patient relationship, I've had, my route like through when I was doing my clinical rotation, Since so many patients, they'll talk to me, oh, please don't let me die. And I'm looking, first day clinical student. Okay, I'll be like, don't worry, the doctor will take care of you. So what are you? I'm a medical student. Oh, so you're not the one I'm not the one doing it. But trust me, you want to be happy because I'm not the one doing it. This is my first day here. It's my first day here. This guy doing it will do a great job. Will do a much better job than I can, But the fact that you talk to them, you calm them down, put them at peace. They know, okay, you know what? It's going to be fine, And that's the kind of person that I am, and that's the kind of person that each and every one of us here should be. Whether you are in medicine, in dentistry, in teaching, anything, just put people at peace, And once you do that, you yourself will find peace. You will. Positive interaction with healthcare professionals. It's not even just with healthcare professionals, We need to start having positive interactions with people. When you go to a class as a student, don't just see the negative side of the teachers. That's what most students see. I've been in classes like with so many students, they never said any great thing about teachers. It's always horrible things. Oh man, I can't stay in that lady's class. She annoys me as well. She annoys you, but she's going to grade you. You better listen to her. Just get what you have to get from. You don't have to like everybody, but it's better to like people because you need to make strong interactions with them. When you come back for letters of recommendations, they'll be more than willing to do it for you. And for getting into medical schools, pre-medical courses, I started my pre-medical courses here, all my sciences, I did some of them here before transferring to UNCG. And one thing I also always advise, students going through this thing right now is, if all the courses that you have to take, the ones that you can do here for Sci Tech, do them here. That's the first advice. And the second advice is that get like a review course, like Kaplan. Before you take each class, look at what is expected of you towards the MCAT. Because whether you like it or not, you will need to do the MCAT at some point, or that, for dentistry, I think, and PCAT for pharmacy, I believe. You will need to do all these things. So get those review courses, look at what you need to know. So after each, before you go into each classes, read them, know more about them very well. So by the time you go into the class, you have deep knowledge about things, And also, the beauty of medicine, what I love about medicine is that I'm a people person. I like to relate with people, I don't like to stay in one room and be playing slide, But I have a lot of friends that like that. That is why I like healthcare, I like primary care, whether internal medicine, family medicine, those are my passion. Those are the things that I love, to be able to relate with patients one-on-one. But then I have a lot of friends that all they like is slides, flip slide, do tissue sampling. I didn't like all of that, But it's great because you have so much to choose from in medicine. You can become an endocrinologist, you can become a cardiologist, you can become a surgeon. I don't like surgery, but you can become anything you want to be in healthcare. Like I said, for pathology, I have a lot of friends, that are very interested in pathology. OB-GYN is also there too. I don't like OB-GYN also. So, but, you can do anything you want to do in medicine. The route to medical school, I mean, from community college, I put that first because that was my route. That was the way I chose. And I have a lot of friends that went straight to four-year colleges, and I noticed the difference between them and I is a lot of them have a lot of loans. I mean, of course, I do have a lot of loans too after medical school, but some have more loans than the others, And when you come to a school like Sci Tech, I mean, it's very affordable. I'm sure a lot of people don't even need to get the loans at all. I mean, I didn't have to take any loan coming here, So I was at an advantage on that point, A lot of my friends, they were like, just letting in loans, and they have like $40-something thousand by the time they graduated from college, And you're about to go to medical school and get another like $200,000 or $250,000 loan addition. So you better finish in medical school. Otherwise, just leave the country. Or get a better job, I don't know. But, I mean, you can also choose any degree, Like nursing, there's a common misconception that people, you have to just do biology to become a doctor. You don't have to do biology alone. You can do chemistry, you can do biotechnology, you can do anything. You can do sociology, psychology, even drama. If there's a course called drama, you can do drama. I don't know if there is, but, or tree cutting, anything. But all you just have to do is do your sciences that are required. We all need sciences in this world. I mean, science is beautiful. I mean, when I was in chemistry, I used to, my friends would ask me, how did you know all of that? I used to tell them all the first 20 elements, hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium. I would tell them all of that, But how do you know that? I just love to learn that. It's not like it's useful for me. I just love to learn it, And also in physics, when you talk about what does physics have to do with medicine? When you read into depth about Laplace law, you will understand, that science it's very beautiful. I mean, if you understand the concept of Laplace law, I'm sorry for the sake of people that are not in sciences here, but if you read it when you get home, just read more about it. It will tell you how medicine comes into physics and how physics comes into medicine. And the same it is for biology and chemistry and everything that we do. And even sociology, it teaches you how to relate with people. So that's why a medical doctor have to have a knowledge about everything. Doctors are not the smartest people in the world. If you want to find the smartest people in the world, go to rocket science. That's where they are. Excuse me. And I have a friend, also, like I always say, he's in Arizona. He's doing a PhD in chemistry. We both started here for Sci Tech. And from the day I saw him, I told everyone then, I'm like, this is a guru. This is the smartest person I've ever seen in my life. And he would tell me, no, I'm not smart. He never had to take a book to class, never had to study, just listen, and he got it. I asked him, what did you want to do? He said, chemistry. He said, I want to be a professor of chemistry. And he's studying right now to be a professor of chemistry. And we both started here at Forsyth Tech. And we all still talk, we all still connect, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, someday, maybe, I don't know if there's an alumni organization here already, but if there is, we have to join so that we can keep coming here, because there are a lot of people that are doing great here. Excuse me. Okay, our journey. Of course, that's my picture there. I was, it's not my best clinical picture. I know I can do better. That's my younger brother, and that's me at home, like getting ready to go for my graduation. And my sister, that's her too, like in a clinical dress. My younger brother too is there. My brother is, of course, we came here together. He's now in engineering too in Illinois, in the state of Illinois. So my sister went to Chapel Hill from here. I went to UNCG. My brother went to UNC Charlotte. So we all went to the 3 UNCs, and we are all apart. I was always the one in the middle to pull everyone together. And that was us, like when my brother graduated from Charlotte. And he graduated, of course, a semester before us. He always, since Nigeria, I know my dad remembers this. He came to my dad one day and was like, Dad, I would like to become a doctor. But you know what? All this lengthy period, like long times in school, I don't like that. I cannot study medicine for like 2 years. Excuse me. My dad said, well, you know what you can study for 2 years? Anything else. But not medicine. If you want to study medicine, you have to be dedicated for a long time. My brother said, you know what? That's it. No medicine for me. And then he chose engineering. He's always wanted to like go ahead of others. He graduated a semester before my sister and he will still laugh at us till today. I'm the youngest, and I graduated first before you guys. I started making money before you guys. I said, well. And that's the three of us too also. And the journey, well, I didn't put the addition there. My younger sister put addition there, which my older sister was not happy about. He said, I'm not an addition. You make it seem like I'm not part of the family. I said, well, it's an addition to Forsyth Tech. That's what we meant, you know. But, you know, she came here too. She took some transfer courses here. And for a nursing degree, she was a nurse. She became a nurse when she was in Nigeria. She came to this country and decided to get a BSN. And she took some courses here. And I remember she was having some difficulties with, I think, writing some maybe statement or things. She went to the Learning Center, and Christine helped her at the Learning Center. They have wonderful Learning Center tutors here. I tell you, they came handy for me when I needed them, and I'm sure they are helping every student too. And I think they should keep it up. I cannot overstress that. They're doing a great job. And it's medical school for me. That's the first thing I thought about. In 2006, when I graduated from UNCG, how could I become a medical doctor? This thing can't be for me. I know I want to do it so bad, but can I really? It takes a long time, effort, money, and everything. But I realized that if you have a passion within you, if you're doing it for the right reasons, you will succeed. Regardless of how terrible it is, you will succeed. Excuse me. Because there are many things to consider, Many years as a student, long study hours. I mean, I've never studied in my life the way I studied in medical school. 8 to 12 hours nonstop, studying, that's it. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. 8 to 12 hours of studying every night, when I was preparing for my board exam, it was really rough, and I'm about to start preparing for my third board exam. So that's another long period of hours. The board examinations, they are very tough. You have to ensure that you have a competitive scores. You have to stay competitive throughout the time, especially in applying for residencies, and fellowships. When it's time to apply for fellowships like cardiology, endocrinology, and all those things. I like cardiology, by the way, but you have to stay competitive. Those are the things you need to think about in medical school. And when you go to medical schools, it's not like Forsyth Tech. People, like your classmates, are not competitive at Forsyth Tech. They are not like trying to pull you back here at Forsyth Tech. They're just trying to succeed and move on, learn and move on. Medical school, people want to show you that, what, I'm better than you. So you might be depressed, you might be frustrated, but just don't give up. That's the key. You have to have this inner motivation, have a great family that supports you, friends that understands that you don't have to call them every week, and that's what it takes, and also, yeah, I was there too, okay. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. I chose this quote because, I realized that this is it says much about my life. I've always had a dream of becoming a medical doctor, but then I realized I was patient. I cried sometimes, but to my parents, I hate to admit that, but I did, when things didn't go right, when I felt like I'm studying, like I'm going crazy. All my review questions that I'm doing, I'm not doing well in them. But then I do my board exam, then I do well. I said, thank God. My dad would say, well, it's okay not to do well in the review questions, but just do well on your boards. That's what matters. That's why I chose this code, because you have to have that strength, the patience, And the passion to succeed. You have to have a passion to succeed. It's more than someone telling you this is what you should do. You have to have this thing within you that this is what I want to do, and just go for it. Excuse me. And also meet with mentors, like in choosing a career plan. Like, what do I want to become? Do you want to become a pharmacist? Do you want to become a doctor? Choose great mentors that you have here. Make a good use of them. You have Mr. Salandi, you have Mr. Reed, you have Dr. Davis here. Everyone is here. Go for them. Like, I'm sure they will not put you away. Talk to them like, this is what I want to become. I need an advice. Tell me what to do. They will advise you based on their own experiences, like what they've been through and how they've seen their previous students succeed. And so you need great mentors in your life. There are some mentors that you go to in 4-year colleges. They don't mean any harm, but because they have so many students coming to them, they tell you, don't worry, you can do it, and that's it. But no real strong advice, But at Forsyth Tech here, you will get that. And that's one thing that I got, here at Sci Tech. Study hard and be consistent. Your GPA has to be off if you're a medical student, trying. That thing is what my sister and we did. We made sure our GPA was always good. Because without a strong GPA, you could never become a medical doctor. You can dream, you can try, but they only choose people with high GPAs and high MCAT scores. Excuse me. Also, MCAT preparation, I cannot overstress it. You have to choose a very great review course like Kaplan to prepare for it, and do your research in terms of the medical school you want to go to. For me, I went to school in Antigua, because my dad's friend then, he came back from Antigua. I was going to the same school, and he told my dad about the school. He was like, have you ever heard of this school? My dad said, no. I've never even been to the Caribbean. And he told my dad about the school. It's a wonderful school. It's the fastest growing school in the Caribbean. And my dad told me about it. I'm like, the first thing I thought about is going to medical school in the Caribbean? Why not? But then I went there. But medical school in the Caribbean is different from going to the Caribbean. I really didn't get to see much in the Caribbean. And, I'm glad I went there. But I didn't get to see much fun in the Caribbean. Medical school will always be medical school regardless of where you go to. It's not easy, but then you are by the water that you cannot really visit all the time. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, I think that was the last slide. And also, before I even go to the last quote, I was going to also tell you about, I want to stress more about the not-for-profit organization that we have. Because I realized so many people that chose my applications wherever I applied to, they will tell me, you have this, these other candidates have this. Tell me what you have that is different. Why should we choose you? We have 4,000 applicants. Why should we choose you over them? Excuse me, and I'll tell them, you know what? Excuse me. We have this not-for-profit organization that we're doing, and we are really ready to help people. We help people in need. And I went to Sci Tech. I was in the student government. I told them all my good qualities, and they told me, well, wait a minute. You went to Sci Tech, and you did biology, that's the same school, Bush. That's what everybody kept saying. And I'm like, wow. So I had to do a research on the internet myself, this thing is big. It's really big. So, Forsyth Tech has made a name. We might not know it here. I was in New York. People told me the same thing in New York. This school has made a name. Even though we are in North Carolina, we're in Winston-Salem. It's made a name, and I think any student that comes here will not regret it because you are part of something great. And I would like to end, my presentation, I would like to end with this Eleanor Roosevelt quote. So the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. I believed in the beauty of my own dreams, because I had great family support. I had great mentors. I had great teachers. I had people that believed in me. Even when I lost, when I had lost that little faith that I know the passion is there, but how do I make this thing out? Like, what do I do? I had people who believed in me. And every time I came back to Sci Tech here, Miss Daisy would be like, oh, that's my doctor. You're going to be my doctor someday. I'll be like, there is no quitting. You know, I have to follow through. You know, I have to follow through. So, you know, those are the things that really encourage me, and I'm really thankful today. And I will tell you every single time that I need to come here to do anything for Sci Tech, as God will be helping me, I will do it, because this school has been part of my life and has been part of what made me who I am today and who I am to be. So I want to thank you guys again for coming here. I know it was a short presentation. You know, it's my first presentation. I'm used to like doing one-on-one presentation with patients. Well, not presentation, but one-on-one meeting with patients, you know. But this is different for me, and I'm thankful for you that you gave me the opportunities here today. And I want to encourage all students today. Any student that is down thinking like, I don't know what I want to do, there are many things for you to do. You can choose sciences. I loved sciences. I mean, you just have to love sciences. I mean, you have to. I mean, I cannot overstress it. I mean, I did physics, chemistry, biology. I saw nothing more than that. Like, I loved other classes, don't get me wrong, but I saw myself in this. If I didn't go to medical school, what would I have done? Maybe become some biology professor, you know, or chemistry professor, you know, given that I like chemistry better, you know. But then I just always love sciences. I want to encourage everyone today, whatever is it that you have in your mind that you want to do, you know you can do it. And one man should be an example for you too. It's Obama. He is the president. Like he said, he never thought he would be the president. And he became the president. And that should motivate anyone. And my story too motivates me. Like, it motivates me, and I think it should motivate you, because 10 years ago, I said I wanted to become a doctor. I knew I could do it, but I know the road will be rough. And here I am today. So I want to encourage everyone today, be strong, be passionate. Everything you want to do, just go hard and get it, because it's not going to come to you. Go to great people. They will lead you through the right path. Thank you for having me here. Thank you so much.